Oh, it's out of the way. Hi. So this is Parshas Nitzavim vayelech, and we said happy birthday to Avi last week, but it's actually coming up in a couple of days, and also Shoshana. Happy birthday to you. So we're coming up on Rosh Hashanah, week from Shabbos, and we blow the shofar. It has a chilling effect. It gets into your bones. Makes your nerves rattle. Shakes you up. Which, for Rosh Hashanah, is good, because Rosh Hashanah is the day on which Hashem judges us for the coming year. And we need to examine ourselves before going in there and see what it is that we have accomplished in the past year and what there is that we didn't accomplish that we thought we might. And also, what is there that we need to do, focus on, that's new for the coming year. So, where do we get the idea to blow the shofar? Well, the Torah says you're going to blow the shofar. How do we get the idea that there are short blasts and long blasts and staccato pop 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 blasts, and that there are to be 100 of them on Rosh Hashanah? So that's all discussed in the Gemara Rosh Hashanah, and it mentions there, for it is written, a day of teruah sounding shall it be for you. And the Targum renders this, a day of Yavava, sounding shall it be for you. And it is written regarding Sisera's mother, through the window she looked and she cried, Sisera's mother. So who is Sisera? She was the mother. Sisera was a general, who was the general for King Yabin of the Canaanim, and they waged war against Israel. This mighty army comes to fight tiny Jews, weak Jews, and they fully expected that they would have a field day. They do really well. So Devorah was a prophetess at that time, and she judged Israel. She was a judge, Neviah, prophetess. And she would sit in a certain place, and she summoned Barak and said to him, God has commanded, go and take with you 10,000 men from Naphtali and the children of Zvulun, and I will draw toward you to the Kishon brook, Sisera, the general of Yabin's army, and his chariot and his multitude. Whoa, take 10,000 men, and you'll get a vast army coming up against you. What an offer. Barak said, if you go with me, I'll go. And she said, okay, I'll go with you, but you won't get the glory. A woman will get the glory. So Barak went and got men from Zvulun and Naphtali, and they told Sisera that Barak had come up to Har Tabor, mountain of Tabor, and Sisera mustered all his chariots, 900 iron chariots. Imagine 900 huge tanks coming at you, and you've got a bow and arrow. And all the people who were with him from Haroshet Goyim to Kishon Brook. Kishon Brook, by the way, is a small brook that goes around here from to the east of Chedera, empties out in Haifa. It's one of the third longest river in Israel, and it's about as wide in most places as two cars side by side. and this huge river, it's not so big. But I will send you a separate video showing what it looks like when it floods. It really becomes extremely wide and volatile. So Sisera comes with his army, and they get defeated before Barak and his men. Wow, this tiny little army has defeated this huge Canaanite army. Sisera got down from his chariot and he fled. And Barak chased after the chariots and after the camp, and the entire camp of Sisera fell by the sword. Not one was left, except for Sisera. He fled on his feet to the tent of Yael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, for there was peace with them. But these were descendants of Yisro, and they were converts to Judaism. And she went out and said, "Turn aside, my lord, turn aside to me, do not fear." He turned aside to her tent, and she covered him with a blanket. And he said, "Give me now a little water to drink, because I'm thirsty." And she opened a skin of milk and gave him his drink and covered him. He said, "Stand by the entrance of the tent, and if any man will come and say, 'Is anyone here?' just say, 'No, nobody in my tent, just me.'" And then she took a tent peg, a sharp stick, and she took a hammer while he was asleep and put the tent peg over his temple, soft part up there. Pow! Drove that tent peg into his head. Gave him quite a headache. He died. So the victory that day didn't go to Barak, as Devorah had said, it went to Yael. Now, where do we get to the shofar blasts? Through the window she gazed. Sisera's mother peered through the window. Why is his chariot delayed in coming? Why are the hoofbeats of his carriages so late? They're late coming back from battle. I'm worried. The wisest of her ladies answered and said this response: "Are they not finding and dividing lots of loot? All the stuff that the Jews own? Maybe a beautiful woman or two after they kill the husbands or the fathers? And lots of colored garments and embroidery and jewelry and all kinds of marvelous stuff." But Sisera's mother was still ill at ease, and she cried. She cried 100 times. And that is the source for us to blow the shofar 100 times on Rosh Hashanah. She was told by her friend, everything's fine, everything's great. So Rav Chaim Vishnevsky, who's in New Jersey, says that the sound of the shofar and the crying of Sisera's mother, she was deluded. She didn't see the real picture, or her friend didn't, but she knew something was wrong in her heart. So we need to be shaken up before Rosh Hashanah. We need to say, okay, life is not going perfectly. It's going well, thank God. But we get certain wake-up calls. When the buildings were destroyed in New York in 9/11, and then in 2008, when the whole economy crashed, and now coronavirus. A little reminder that we're not just here to live well and be happy. We're here to know God and to listen to Him and to look for the signs of what we should be doing in our lives. So when you hear the shofar blast, if it makes you feel a little edgy, a little uncomfortable, good. And then say to yourself, what do I have accomplished this year that I set out to accomplish? And what do I have left that I said I'd do and I didn't do? What is there in my life that I can work on that's new for the coming year? And ask God to help you and to show it to you. And He will. because He wants you to succeed. That's why He created you. So, I won't say goodbye for the year. I'll do that, God willing, next week. But when you hear that shofar blast, it makes you feel edgy inside. Good.